expressed in this program by the host or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis, and breaking scoreboards. Simone of the Olympics, defense and big business. The Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the three in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bell in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host Dee Trynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host Dee Trynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, what's really good, y'all? Dee Trynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Catch us on IG at Industry Sports or at Dee Trynt. If you missed the live streamings, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you will see Game Changer Sports Talk with Dee Trynt. Make sure you do the same. It is a pleasure having you all here with me today on this fine Tuesday on a cold day in Cleveland. Okay, it is now off-season time for the NFL. I know I haven't seen y'all and came talk NFL with y'all. I know last time I was up here, we was talking AD Luka. And if you didn't see that, make sure you go check out that last episode, AD Luka, me, Hooley, J.O. Show, Ashton, CDK, my fault, bro. CDK. And we had a pretty good time. All right. But when we get to talking about these Browns, it's pretty quite a sensitive subject for a lot of us, A lot of us have been Brown fans our whole lives. Some of us, we were born into this, And unfortunately, things haven't gone the way we've liked, right? What's this? This is 2025. So 9 years ago, we drafted Myles Garrett. We drafted him, Jabril Peppers, and David Njoku. Now I think Jabril Peppers should still be here. Right now, Jabril Peppers with Grant Delpit would be an amazing pairing at safety to go with Denzel and Newsome and Ward. Having him would have definitely helped. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who is, may or may not return to football, right? You know, just in Myles Garrett's tenure here as a Cleveland Brown, he's been through some shit. Okay. Almost 16 seasons, 1-15 seasons, 2-14 seasons. All up until this year, this past season of going 3-14, the previous 4 seasons had gone fair, if not better, right? They went to the playoffs twice. They won at least 8 or 9 games a season. And so at that point, there is no reason to look at, whatever's going on with the Browns and say, okay, it's not going to turn around. You got a future Hall of Famer in Nick Chubb, Joe Patonio's there, required a lot of pieces, a lot of talent. And for some reason, man, it just didn't quite come together, right? We draft Baker. Baker is supposed to turn around the franchise. We got Jarvis over here. We got some little pieces. We pick up John Johnson the third. Free agency. Never got big free agents like that. Got Jadeveon Clowney to come over here. Got Olivier Vernon to come over here and be a pretty good piece for us for a while. We got convinced Juan Thornhill to come over here and play. Um, I mean, to say the Browns have had a lack of talent in Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski's tenure is not true. I cannot say that they haven't had talent, that they haven't had a chance to really do something special here in Cleveland. I will say, man, it's always something though, right? With Cleveland, right? It's always something, right? Um, Baker didn't work out. We say, hey, we'll go after Deshaun Watson. Quite a few teams go after Deshaun Watson. And yet the Cleveland Browns are the only ones criticized for actually going to get Deshaun Watson. Oh, now we're the fan base that promotes or is okay with harm being done to women in a certain way, which is fucking bananas, right? Um, all because we just want to win, right? We just want um to be a fan base that's not laughed at anymore. We want to be a fan base where people respect, our fandom, you know, versus always cracking jokes or making it seem like, just making it seem like we don't care. Like, but we do care here, right? I think, for the most part, whatever you describe the Cleveland fan base, we care. We give a flying F, right? Now, from the outside looking in, I think if you was to judge by, what our local media says, you would probably think we don't care, right? I've said this for years. Um, having worked alongside some of these guys in certain aspects of respect, being tutored and taught by some of these guys, and in profession in some of these respects. I'm sitting down having conversations with these gentlemen, or these women of the sports media world, and I'm sorry, y'all. They don't do us no justice. Okay, I genuinely believe that the local sports media is not the biggest reason, not the biggest reason, but it is a big contributing factor to why certain athletes don't want to play here, don't want to feel comfortable moving a family here. And in a lot of respects is a big part of the reason why the major sports team is not open with us, why they don't feel comfortable sharing things with us. Okay? Yes, I blame a lot of you sports media personalities. You all make up stuff. You don't do no research for real. These so-called sources always leading y'all into these weird places. And the people of y'all who actually have, some type of uh reliable source, they can't even say nothing. They gotta work with y'all. They can't call y'all out on y'all shit every time because it's not a professional courtesy, to expose people for their bullshit. And unfortunately, you know, we be in a position a lot to lose players or things that we have gotten. We get Deshaun, and instead of it being a 4-game suspension, all of a sudden now it's it's 11 games, right? Which end up being 12 games, right? And it's just this, that, and the third. Myles gets help, then he doesn't get help. Myles works on his game, then Myles doesn't work on his game. Myles is supportive Baker, and then all of a sudden Myles doesn't like Baker. I'm not here to say nothing bad about Myles Garrett. Let me be very clear. As a fan of the Cleveland Browns, I love Myles. And I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate everything he's done for our franchise because he didn't have to. He didn't have to resign. He didn't have to recruit. He doesn't have to be a part of the community. He chose to do those things. And he chose to do those things um, willingly. He volunteered. Nobody forced Myles to do anything. All right. He volunteered. So Dee Trynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Catch us on IG at Industry Sports or at Dee Trynt. If you missed the live streaming, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you'll see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly, Dee Trynt. And today, at the beginning of this episode, we are talking about Myles Garrett public announcement that he would like to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Yes, Myles Garrett dropped a doozy yesterday on Monday morning. I mean, look, we get right out of the damn AD and Luka stuff, De'Aaron Fox and all this extra NBA drama, going on. Just for Myles Garrett to wake up and say, "Nah, bruh, I ain't finished yet. I got some more stuff I need to tell y'all." Hey, Cleveland, get me the fuck out of here. That's how I took the statement, right? Hey, dog, I'm ready to get the fuck up out of here, though, right, dog?
And he threw shots at Barry and them in that post too.
Well, I'll say this, right? People blaming Andrew Barry.
No, I ain't talking about
No, no,
the
no, no.
blame on Andrew Barry. I'm just talking about in the post that he picked because Barry put that was saying like what I'm saying Myles Barry the one that from Cleveland to Canton shit came out and what I'm saying Myles like man I want to be Cleveland to Canton. I want some Super Bowl rings basically and shit. But that was Andrew Barry that said that.
I don't care that Andrew Barry said it. I don't care that Myles Garrett felt some type of way. I don't knock Myles for the statement. I don't knock Andrew for the statement. I'm gonna tell you my bottom line. Hey Myles, I love you, but we ain't trading you no motherfucking where. If you don't want to play, go sit your weak ass at the house then. I mean, listen, you are a franchise player, bro. You could have went to management at any time and said, "I don't like this shit. You got to give me more input on who we pick." You could have been did this, Myles. I'm not mad that you're frustrated. I think you are perfectly legitimate in your frustration. I think you are very much in the right when you say this shit gotta end at some point. I'm with you, Myles. At some point, this shit definitely gotta end. Like it can't be a shit show the whole time. But to act like context don't matter is crazy. James Marbury. Browns on some BS. They announced Myles leaving the day after they collected that season ticket money on February 1st. How the Browns on some see, this is where I be saying people in their thoughts be so misplaced. How is the Browns at fault for something Myles did? Like, does your job control what you do at home? I'm sorry. Does your supervisor at whatever employer you work for controls the thoughts and how you display your thoughts when you're not on the work site? So how is the Browns at fault for something Myles chose to do in the offseason? Miss me with the noise, okay? Secondly, If the ticket people were so upset about what the Browns were doing, then stop buying season tickets. Nobody puts a gun to your head and tell you to go buy Browns tickets. Nobody calls you and says, "Hey, if you don't buy Browns tickets right now, you're not gonna ever be able to come back to the stadium." If you want to come up, join up, the link is in the chat from wherever you viewing from. Feel free to come on up here, holler at me. Let's talk about who's at fault for the Browns or for Myles Garrett wanting to leave. Also, we're going to talk about, is he going to leave or not? Okay? Now, you not getting what I'm saying. I'm not getting what you're saying, bruh. Because you said, let's hold on. Let's do this verbatim. Because I'm pretty sure my reading comprehension skills is fire. Browns on some BS. They announced Myles leaving the day after they collected season ticket money on February 1st. But the Browns didn't announce Myles Garrett wanting to get a trade. Myles Garrett announced it. So tell me what I'm not understanding, my guy. And I don't mean to yell at you. I don't want you to think I'm screaming at you because I'm upset. It's hard for me to understand something that's very clear. You said the Browns on some BS. You're blaming the Browns for something Myles Garrett chose to do. That's not fair. Blame Myles Garrett. Listen, because we like a person, don't scapegoat them for what they did. Myles Garrett, if he really cared about what was going to happen to Cleveland or the people that he played with, or he thought that he wanted to see something better, then he wouldn't have came out and announced this trade like this and put the Browns in a position to not get better. Stupid. You know, my mama had a saying: people bite their nose despite their face. Now I realize they still needed to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Blame who? Listen, this is the problem. When you blame everybody, you still scapegoat the people who need to be held responsible. When you don't hold the people who need to be held responsible, right? And I'm responding to this, y'all. I'm sorry. James said I'm blaming all of them. So I'm responding to that. When you don't hold accountable the key people, then you don't resolve the problem. You exonerate them, and then you make somebody else hold their feet to the fire that has nothing to do with the problem. All right? Let me tell you what the problem is. Let me inform y'all what the problem is. The problem is Jimmy Haslam don't know how to mind his fucking business. Okay? This is what I mean. Let's clear up some things for all of y'all who don't really pay attention, but just want to take whatever headlines y'all get and run with that shit. The final move to pursue Deshaun Watson and pay him $230 million was Jimmy Haslam's doing. The move to draft Baker Mayfield at number 1 overall was Jimmy Haslam's doing. Okay? A lot of this shit that y'all don't think, that y'all blame Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski for, don't got shit to do with them. It has everything to do with Jimmy Haslam listening to Paul D. Podesta weak ass. Paul D. Podesta is the motherfucker that need to go. You got some Ivy League snot-nosed POS running the NFL franchise and he don't know shit about football. That's the problem. The person leading football operations doesn't know shit about football. And the people under him got to take all the backlash for all the stupid shit that he convinced the owner to push forward and do. This is the problem. But most fans don't want to look at it like that because it's not digestible for them. It's not digestible for them to go after the owner. If you want the owner to change, stop buying the fucking tickets. Don't go to the fucking game. Let me be very clear with y'all. As much as I love the Browns, majority of Browns games I see on replay. I was at every game this season in the stadium, 100 feet from the field, and I still watch the games on replay. Let me be very clear. When I was out of town, before I moved back to Cleveland, I watched the games on replay. Was I upset at times when I couldn't watch the game live? Of course I was upset. I'm a fan. Of course I want to see the game when it's happening. But I'm also a firm believer that things happen for a reason. That the universe does shit for a reason. All right. We don't always know what the reason is at the time, but we do know that the universe does shit. Okay. So the reason Myles wants to leave is a combination of a lot of things. It's not just one thing. But I will say one person is the common denominator in all of it. And that is Paul D. Podesta. Okay. The reason why the structure is set up the way it is, all right. The only thing saving the Browns right now is the fact that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are homeboys first. The fact that they are friends first and they know how to work together to work around the stupidity that's going on above them is the reason why this shit ain't failed completely on its face. While people always talk about let's call for Andrew Berry job. Oh, let's call for Kevin Stefanski job. I don't care if you think it's mediocre. You don't fire the people who's done the best job that you've had done since you've had the company. It doesn't make sense. Or we can go get somebody else. Don't nobody else want to come the fuck over here. People keep forgetting that. Don't nobody want to come over here. What do you get when you move to Cleveland? Let's be realistic about this. No. Let's be realistic, because now y'all got me up. Let's be fucking realistic. When you move to Cleveland, ain't no tourist attractions here. The judicial system racist as fuck. The police racist as fuck. The streets condemned and fucked up. Most of the shit is abandoned. Right? Right? The Cavs just now starting to do some winning. Right? And the fan base cool as long as you a white person that's the face of the franchise. The people who spend the most money on the games, let's call it what it is, right? The people who spend the most money at the games, what it do, Debbie? Yeah. The people who spend the most money at the games are the most racist. Now, unfortunately for this fan base, they're going to have to accept the fact that there's not going to be too many great white quarterbacks going forward. You have to accept that. And if you're not going to accept that, you should probably stop watching football. Give it up. Okay? It's not a game you all invented anyway. That's another conversation. Okay? So, what should the Browns do? What position did Myles Garrett put them in? Well, if from what I gathered, the Browns already knew Myles Garrett wanted a trade. And as far as I could tell, when he did that press conference at the end of the year, he basically said he wanted a trade. I don't think they're far away. Meaning, shit, when they trade me, they're going to get back so much shit to go with what they already got. They should be there. That's how I take it. Hindsight 2020. That's how I'm taking the statement. Oh, you said it then. We just didn't realize what you were saying. You wanted us to know at that point. Got you. But if I'm Andrew Berry and if I'm Jimmy Haslam, I'm not trading Myles nowhere. Myles, you are too important to this franchise, my guy. How much money does it take to keep you? And what specific things would you want done to the Browns to make us a Super Bowl winner? That's what I'm going to Myles and I'm saying if I'm Andrew Berry. Also, if I'm Andrew Berry, I'm going to Jimmy Haslam and I'm saying to him, get Dee Podesta the fuck out of here. What DNA say? Get him the fuck out of here. Get him the fuck out of here, dude. Listen, Dee Podesta, I want to thank you for the money ball implications, the analytic implications that was implemented in our system because the Browns' previous owners couldn't manage the books for shit. they money management and accounting regulation skills were piss poor at best. And none of this got fixed until Jimmy Haslam get here. And he brought Sashi Brown, and Dee Podesta picked up where Sashi Brown left off. We appreciate you two for that. But that was only a phase. The Dee Podesta experiment is over, Jimmy Haslam. You need to have a real football mind. Go hire Peyton Manning and let him run that position. Go hire Louis Riddick, who I think you really should get, and let him run that position. Get somebody who knows fucking football to be your right-hand man to help you navigate how to operate a football team and deal with a football city. Myles Garrett, though, you goes nowhere. You will retire A. Brown or you will retire soon. I'm so sorry, man. And I literally I say that shit with no malice, man. But after going through what we just went through with Myles, I mean with Deshaun, you know what I'm saying, and what we went through with Baker and fucking and Odell previous to that, you know what we dealt with Joe Thomas previous to that. Come on, bruh. The Browns got to put their foot in the ground, bruh, and they got to let it be known. We value you, Myles Garrett. You mean something to us, bro. We actually love you here. We can't just let you walk out the door, bro. We can't just let you walk out the door, bro. We have to figure out a way to fix this. That's how I look at it. It's no malice towards Myles whatsoever. I'm not mad at him for making his decisions, though I could nitpick and say, hey, Myles, you could have been went to management and put your foot in the ground and told them what the fuck you wasn't going to accept. You could have said that when you signed the 7-year, $125 million deal. You could have did that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you could have been did this, Myles. Myles, you could have gathered all of the veterans up. You, Chubb, Ward, Batonio, Teller. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could have all went up to the owner and said, hey, bitch, you not about to keep playing with our motherfucking livelihood. You, Myles Garrett, could do that. You have that type of power here. You could do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, bro, do that first. If you did do that and Jimmy Haslam still ain't listening, then we got to start blaming the owner for his bullshit. But I don't think it's him. I think it's Dee Podesta because he's the middleman. These people don't go directly talking to Jimmy. They go talk to Dee Podesta. Dee Podesta talk to Jimmy, and then Jimmy figure out if he want to turn it back through Dee Podesta or he want to go holler at them himself. This is how this shit works, y'all. So listen, bro. I feel some type of way that Myles want to leave, but if it's me, Myles, your ass ain't going nowhere. You can't offer me 3 first-round picks, 4 first-round picks, 5 first-round picks. You can't offer me 6 starters and 7 first-round picks. Myles Garrett is not for sale. He isn't for sale. I'd make him the mayor of the city before I let him leave. You hear me? I'd give him half the stake in the team before I let him leave. You hear me? And don't get it twisted. I was on this same shit for LeBron when he was here. Because I literally feel like Myles Garrett and LeBron's situation is merely virtually the same. Multiple MVPs, you know what I'm saying? Carrying subpar defensive personnel to top tier ranks. Like, let's be very clear. You know what I'm saying? I think him and LeBron's situation is a lot. The only difference is, and I give Myles his credit, he ain't put a LeBron. He ain't do this whole media spectacle. He came out and hollered at everybody when his season was over. The season been over about a month now. And he came out and said something, which tells me that he been told management he wanted to get traded. Josh, what up, though? 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, he been told management he wanted to get traded. But clearly, I don't blame Barry. Brian train you. We gonna put you together, though. We gonna get you some more running mates in here. We gonna put you together, though. All right? We gonna put you together. That's what I will be, all right? So let's get into some of that, right? Dee Trynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Catch us on IG at Industry Sports or at Dee Trynt. If you missed the live records, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you will see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly. Also, check out the industrysports.com website. We keep it update with the latest goings on in the sports world, whether it be national, local,
The site is under construction right
statewide.
now. My bad, bro. Site under construction right now.
That's cool. That's cool. But they still need to put that in their browsers. Still put Industry Sports in your browsers. Market, bookmark it. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, when it's popping, it's popping. You know how I go, man. As things growing under a renovation. You know? So we appreciate y'all for helping us grow. But keep getting in tune, man, and bring some more of your folks over. You know what I'm saying? Today we're talking Myles Garrett trade reaction. He sent it out yesterday. Yesterday I was still recovering from the weekend of stuff. I didn't have a positive mind state to be approaching this conversation with yesterday. For sure. You know, now I've had a day to like process and go through it, analyze and come with logic and shit. I'm in a better place. Well, I got this conversation with y'all. And being that we ain't talk Browns, and it's a good kickstart, let's talk about what's going on with the Browns, right? What should the Browns do at number 2? All right. So the Browns have 11 picks in this draft, I think, if I'm not mistaken. They have 5 picks in the top 102, if I'm not mistaken, 2 selections. Super Bowl Sunday. Hey, shout out to the Eagles. Shout out to the Chiefs. Big up to Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, to Cleveland area guys who were in the Super Bowl. Kareem Hunt getting to his first Super Bowl. We are very much happy for you, my guy. Hunt, we much happy for you, bro. We seeing your video, you know, and we know you didn't want to leave, bro. Understand, us real Browns fans know that Kareem Hunt did not want to leave the team, and we didn't want you to leave either. But this is what happens when ownership doesn't know how to let the people he hired run the team. Right? And I've been telling people this for years. When it comes to Kevin Stefanski, when he first got here, he didn't have no leeway. All right? Everybody else had more leeway than him coming here. His 2 Coach of the Year award wins in the midst of all this bullshit has earned him the right to be forceful. You, through this chaotic bullshit, I won 2 Coach of the Year awards. What do you think will happen if you just let me do what I want to do from the gate? I think this is why he got the extension. All right? Understand. Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski got long-term extensions last season. At the end of last season, before the beginning of the season. And not one media person can report on, one local media person can report on the details of those contracts. I just thought that was just this crazy food for thought, right? When they did those contract renegotiations, they did an overhaul of the offense, coaching staff. Stump was fired. AVP left. Callahan left. Right? And first thing people did say was, oh, Kevin Stefanski did it. Oh, Kevin Stefanski fired them dudes. They brought in Ken Dorsey. And then they brought in Musgrave. And then they brought in whoever was the line coach. And then they brought in Tommy Rees. You know what happened when all this shit folded at the end of the year? Ken Dorsey was let go. The offensive line coach was let go. And Bill Musgrave, Bill Musgrave and Tommy Rees were promoted. Not fired, but promoted. Mike Ray was gone. That tells me that those were deep podesta hires. I ain't gonna even put it on you, Jimmy. I'm gonna save you and Miss D right now. These were deep podesta hires. He wanted those people here. He wanted to go off whatever fucking analytics that he thought was gonna be cool. And this is what he got. So I assume that in the contract renegotiations, Kevin and Andrew said, when these contracts kick in, we get full control and final say. We don't want Deep Podesta's input at all on the roster. That's what I think happened. And what gives me proof of that is this not the first year that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry both have been on the foot beat. Have put in the actual footwork or on the ground floor of acquiring certain pieces. Well, I can't argue too. This is the first time this regime has had a top 5 pick. Do you all realize that? This is the first time in Kevin Stefanski's Brown tenure and Andrew Berry's Brown tenure that they've had a top 5 pick. They're going to put a team together they want to put together, and it's about fucking time. I'm so tired of them taking backlash for shit that they don't have to take backlash for. It's certain things that they do that is their fault, and they should 100% get the blame for. But a lot of this shit that y'all be blaming them for ain't even the shit that they should be blamed for. And that's the shit that be bothering me and making me mad. Y'all, I don't understand. But I think that's what's going on, just by how things are playing out so far. So, we 30 minutes in, 37 minutes in. Let's talk about prospects. Let's talk about rounds. Let's talk about teams and their draft status. Okay. The Browns have the following picks in the draft. If I'm not mistaken, number 2, number 33. They have number 2, number 33, number 67, 94, and 102, if I'm not mistaken, for their first 5 draft picks. All right. Now, let's start with the preliminary question. Is this a rebuild? That is the number one question, or the number one statement or sentiment or idea people cling to. Is this a rebuild? If you go off what Myles said in his letter, he thinks it's a rebuild. But I don't understand, Myles. Why would you think it's a rebuild? Is Dalvin Tomlinson not still your teammate? Is Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome and Grant Dale Pitt not still your teammate? No. Mike Hall Jr., Alex Wright, Izzy McGuire, Isaiah McGuire, my bad, but it is McGuire. Are these not your teammates? Still under contract that play on your side of the ball? No. These guys don't run with you. So, Myles, you're not alone. This where in the LeBron case, you got it better than LeBron because you actually have quality teammates who put up numbers. Every last teammate of yours I just named, with the exception of Wright, Izzy, and Mike Hall, have all been to a Pro Bowl. Dalvin Thomas has been a Pro Bowler. You've been a Pro Bowler. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah was a Pro Bowler at one time. Grant Delpit was a Pro Bowler at one time. Newsom was a Pro Bowler at one time. Ward was a Pro Bowler at one time. The only person that hasn't been a Pro Bowler was Emerson. So you're on a team with Pro Bowlers. Myles Garrett, if you don't like the defensive coach's scheme and the way he utilizes you, then why don't you go to the head coach and say, hey, Kevin, I don't think he's using me to his max potential. I think I have some ideas that we should look at. Myles, because you could do that. Why you do that? But so naming those people who are still under contract, I guess Greg Newsom would be kind of the on the fence because technically he is in contract negotiations right now. If you're telling me that these guys are coming back healthy, right? The guys I just named, Myles, Davin, Mike, Alex, Isaiah, Grant, hopefully Jeremiah. But we just hold off on him right now, right? Ward, Emerson, Newsom. That's like 8 dudes, bruh. That's like 8 people. So the defense has talent. You're the leader of the defense. That squad has talent. Yet your side of the ball was more horrible than the offensive side of the ball this season. I'm just saying, if we gonna talk it, and don't get me wrong, Myles Garrett, you gonna get your accolades. You did your job, right? But the defense was shitty this year. I can make a case that in at least 8 of those 13 to 14 losses, that the defense completely lost the game for the Browns. So I don't think having those 8 players on defense says that part of the team is in rebuild. When you say you're in rebuild, that means you don't have anything or you have to start over. Because you may lose one player doesn't mean you have to start over. And this is a problem with a lot of Cleveland fans. Oh, we lose this one piece. Oh, the sky is falling. The sky's not fucking falling. On top of that, if you lose one player and the sky's falling, then you had a shitty ass put together to begin with, right? Clearly, you had a shitty put together. So let's look at the offense, right? So by defensive standard, the defense got at least 8 players that they can roll into the league with right now, and all of these players are quality players. So the defense is not in rebuild. Oh, Denzel Ward, he got a concussion, and Newsom ain't been playing up to his attitude reflect leadership. And since we pointing fingers, I can argue Myles Garrett hasn't been the leader that his talent represents. And I can say that is part of the reason why that defense don't stay how it's supposed to be, because Myles Garrett is a subpar leader. How many of y'all willing to actually go there and put it out there for real, right? Again, Myles, I'm not mad at you. You have a legit reason for how you feel. All I'm saying is, I don't know how you were raised, bro. I don't know how your grandparents raised you or your parents raised you. Let me tell you about how I was raised, though. We accountable over here. See, over here, we're not allowed to complain about something until we've actually spent the energy and took the time to do anything and everything necessary to make it the best situation possible. Which means if I had to reform my thinking to make this work, that's what I had to do. If I had to readjust my game or gain an extra skill or perspective to make sure that this goes according or close to according to expectation, that's what I had to do. If I had to settle my differences and swallow my pride to get with certain people so we could work as a cohesive unit to get something accomplished, that's what the fuck was expected of me. before I could throw complaints or hurl insults. This is how I was raised. This is a foundational teaching from the day I lived every day. So I ain't saying nothing to you that I ain't lived. Bruh, and speaking on that, you playing with a lot more resources than I was playing with when I had to do this shit. Because Myles Garrett, I play defense. I play defensive tackle. I play defensive end. And I play middle linebacker. I literally called a defense. So let me tell you, bro, leadership is everything. Leadership changes everything. When you got a talented motherfucker in your huddle that's telling you this how it's gonna go, and every play that motherfucker show up and perform, nigga, when you got attitude reflect leadership, bro. So if the players on that defense is acting shitty, I can argue that it's partially your fault as leader of the defense. If these guys don't come in and they don't put they motherfucking 1,000% energy into every play and every practice, I can argue, Myles Garrett, that's partially your fault. Because you only do it for the accolade, which I was, side note, y'all, I fucks with Gilbert Arenas, okay? I fucks with Gilbert Arenas. That is my guy, okay? I seen a clip of him, Rashad McCants, Brandon Jennings, Nick Young, and his moderator, right? And they were talking about individual legacy, right? What's more important to your individual legacy? I don't know if any people seen that, but this was an interesting topic. And Kenyon Martin was up there too. So Gil and Kenyon say the MVPs, right? And Rashad and Brandon Jennings and Nick Young, they're all like, oh, no, it's got to be the rings. So Gil asked a very good question. Gil says, name me the top 5. Oh, wow. Name me the top 5 two guards in the league right now. Or all time. Now he said right now, he said all time. Right? He say, when we get to doing this list, 2 of these people ain't got no rings. Right? James Harden, Allen Iverson, which is legit. Right? They say, oh, so Gil say, well, why Klay Thompson ain't considered one of the top 5 two guards of all time? Now they want to move the goalposts. No. If championships are more important than MVPs, then why isn't Klay Thompson considered top 5 all time two guard, right? So somebody gonna say
you gotta go. You gotta go check out Cam, Mace, and Maurice talking about that one too. We're talking about that like whole little topic because they all had good points on that shit too.
For sure. We definitely gonna check that out. So my opinion, so Gil say Klay got 4 of them. So I think Nick or Brandon say, oh, but he wasn't the number 1 option. Number 1 option wasn't. See, that's what we call moving the goalposts. That is a perfect example of moving the goalposts. We weren't talking about number 1 options. We were talking about shooting guards of all time. Just so happened that when we had the conversation of top 5 shooting guards of all time, they were all number 1 options. What helps differentiate what questions you ask to what answers they get is y'all said championships matter more than MVPs. If championships matter more than MVPs, why isn't Klay Thompson with 4 of them considered a top 5 two-guard of all time. Now, if your reply would have been because he wasn't a number 1 option, then that would have been legitimate. I would have had no debate for that. Nobody said that. They just said, oh, we're not talking about number 2 options. No, you're talking about shooting guards. Is Klay Thompson not a shooting guard? So he would qualify for the conversation. The context is what matters more to your legacy. And I'm making this correlate to Myles. What means more to you, your legacy? The MVPs or the championships? If the championships mean more to you, then as the best player on the team, you should be a leader. And Myles, as much as I love you and we revere you, I've never heard anybody in your whole NFL career call you a leader. The best player on the team, the most athletic player on the team, the most impactful player on the team. I would say the most dominant person in your position. But I've never heard anybody call you a great leader. So I'm just saying, you would do a lot more for your case. And it would probably be, and you would probably have a lot more easier for the Browns to say, hey, you know what, Myles, you want to go? Just pick where you want to go, dog, and we'll send you there. But they didn't do that because you haven't done that, bro. You haven't been the leader that you could have been. So you sit the sentiment of the Browns are rebuilding, but I just called out that you got at least 8 quality Pro Bowl players on the same side of the ball as you. That's your teammate. That doesn't scream rebuild. Now, if we're talking about the offense, we're having a different conversation, right? Maybe. Dee Trynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at Dee Trynt. If you missed the live streamings, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you will see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly. Here we're talking reactions and feelings and sentiments to the Myles Garrett trade request, public trade request. You know, if you just now hitting the podcast at this point in time, I'm at the point now where we're trying to decipher: are the Browns rebuilding, or is people overplaying what they're analyzing? Okay, or overreacting to what they're so-called analyzing, right? So let's go to the offensive side of the ball, right? Who do we blame for the misfortune of Nick Chubb? No one. I can't say Kevin Stefanski overused Chubb. We can't say that. Because how many times over his tenure has people said, you didn't run Chubb enough? You could have gave him the 50 to 4 times. Chubb had an unfortunate incident by a dirty player. Yes, I'm calling Minka Fitzpatrick a dirty player. I'm going on record saying that. And Minka, we can have whatever conversation you want to have about that, bro. You're a dirty player. Video evidence supports my claim. Okay? That's nobody's fault, though. It's not the Browns' fault. It's not Chubb's fault. It's not the offensive line's fault. It's not the other players on the Steelers' defense fault. It's not the Rooney's fault, Tomlin's fault. That's just a stupid-ass decision Minka decided to make because he was scared. Let's be very clear. He was scared to get run over. He stuck his nose in there, and he did some bullshit to try to, you feel me? That's what happened, unfortunately. But Nick Chubb is still here. It's not like he's washed. He just needed a little more time to get back. Jerome Ford is a quality piece. It's crazy how we act like Jerome Ford ain't shit, but we can send him somewhere else and he could be a missing piece for a Super Bowl team. That's wild. Jerry Jeudy is a really good receiver. He displayed that. Cedric Tillman is promising. David Njoku is a Pro Bowler. Okay? Right? Elijah Moore, if he didn't, but when we needed him to show up, he showed up. So he could ball too. David Bell, before he got injured, showed signs that he could ball. Michael, I'm speaking on receiver group, just receivers and backs right now. Michael Woods the second. He was injured all year. When he did come back and play at the end of the year, he showed promising signs. Right? Jordan Akins, while he was here, he did what he could. Right? Even Deshaun Watson in his first 11 games was 9-2. In his first 11 games as a Cleveland Brown, he was 9-2. Before this season, his last game played was a historical comeback on the Ravens, which forced them to feel like they got to go get Derrick Henry. Wow, right? So, how much is rebuilding is we doing on the offense? The offensive line? Well, it makes sense to have to rebuild the offensive line because Joe Bitonio was in his 30s. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. Joe Bitonio was undersized for his position. On top of the fact that he's older. Joe Bitonio, I love you, but you should retire just to help the Browns out. Wyatt Teller should sign and trade. I know football don't really do a lot of sign and trade, but the Browns should be able to get something for you and send you off. I like either Pochich, he can go too. I would love for the Browns to start. Now, before I go into this little soliloquy and this little monologue, let me be clear. The Browns offense is renovating. You only legitimately get to kind of insinuate it's a rebuild because Nick Chubb is hurt, Deshaun Watson is hurt, and Jerry Jeudy isn't an outright thought of number one receiver. Right? The offensive line elder statesmen are past their prime of reliability. So, if we're looking at the offense, right? And I'm doing this all off the top of my head, y'all. This is how y'all know I love this shit, okay? I'm doing this shit off the top of my head. Let me tell you what the offense looked like. Under contract, Jerome Ford at running back. ETR at quarterback. Luke Weipler at center. DeJuan Jones at one tackle. Jed Wills technically ain't under contract right now. Okay? Jerry Jeudy's under contract still. Cedric Tillman's under contract still. I think Mike Woods under contract still. But I'm pretty sure David Bell was only on a 3-year deal. I think he may got a 4th-year team option. I'm not sure. I don't think that's even a thing in football, but I ain't sure. If it is, I don't think it's guaranteed or some shit like that. I don't know. But I think it was a 3-year deal, right? Elijah Moore is a free agent. All right? So, the Browns' offense, you could say it's under rebuild. You could legitimately say the offense is under rebuild, right? But it's not, the cover's not bare. It's not like, and that's why I say it's kind of more of a renovation than a rebuild because the cover's not bare. You have pieces that you can use. David Njoku, I forgot he's under contract too. Let me not forget him. But you have pieces there. You have the number 2 overall pick. You have 5 picks in the top 102. And you're going to have hella cap money because Joe going to retire. All these other cats going to come off the books and all that money going to come back on the books. On top of whatever the salary cap increase is for the next football season. The defense is not under rebuild. The defense needs a defensive tackle and the defense needs a middle linebacker. And they need to retain everybody else that they have. As far as Greg Newsome, Martin Emerson, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, Mike Hall Jr., Dalvin Tomlinson, Isaiah McGuire, Alex Wright. You need to keep all these guys. All of these guys are a nice core defense. Now you need to get a starting free safety, all right, to complete that off. You need a starting middle linebacker. You need a run dominant defensive tackle, right? But let's see what Mike Hall turn into. But you could use one. I don't know what Siaki Ika gonna do. And that's another thing, Myles. How the fuck is you on the line? You got big ass Siaki Ika down there, and you ain't take him under your wing and make that motherfucker be a force for you? Like, come on, bruh. Like, it'll be a difference, Myles. And I know I just segued way back for a second, but it'll be a difference, Myles, bruh, if you didn't never have no help over here, bruh. If we went to game footage, we could show many plays of you getting exposed for being a one-trick pony. This the shit that we was mad at LeBron for, right? Not saying that LeBron was a one-trick pony. What I'm saying is LeBron, at that time when you chose to do that shit, the fans were behind you. And when you went to Miami, one of your first public statements was, I didn't like how the fans treated me. That's the shit that had me mad at LeBron. Nigga, don't lie. It ain't had nothing to do with us. Management was a piece of shit, and niggas was stabbing you behind the back. The shit ain't had nothing to do with the fans. We roll with you. And what I'm saying is when we roll with you, we don't expose your flaws. We cover them up. Because we fuck with you. But make no mistake about it. When you try to throw us under the bus, we keep receipts. We keep receipts. And we gonna make you cash them bitches in. All right? Myles Garrett been a one-trick pony for a long time. You just rush. When they finally start moving you around the defense, this when you started getting to your greatness. I don't know what made them stop that. Why did they stop moving Myles Garrett around? Was that something that ownership said, hey, we know he doing this and that's doing that, but we paying too much money for him to be moving around. You got to keep him in one spot. Does anybody even think about that? You notice that? Myles Garrett's whole thing could be at ownership. Y'all put y'all nose in the shit too much, and I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to know. I won't always look at this shit from both sides. You know what I'm saying? If I come down on Myles, I'm gonna support him too. Because I fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, as a Cleveland Browns fan, you don't want to lose your top pieces, man. That's not something you just encourage. And for all them people like, oh, we can get 3 number ones or we get all Myles Garrett is irreplaceable. I won't find another Myles. You know what I'm saying? I don't even care how this sounds. You won't find another Myles. He is a unicorn. He is a one in a generation talent. You make him as happy as possible. But let's get back to the topic at hand. So the Browns defense is not under rebuild. They just need to get more pieces to finish off what they have. But they have what is considered a top tier unit talent wise. The offense, the cover isn't completely bare, but it is on minimum, right? And once they do fill a cabinet back up, you can still have a piece like, Chubb tenured there as a rotational piece. If Joe Bitonio gonna stay, he need to take like a veteran minimum contract and be a rotation player. This is what the offensive line could do. Except for Wyatt Teller, he's still young enough to go get money, so he need to go somewhere else because Wyatt Teller can't pass block for shit. I don't know why people don't expose that. Wyatt Teller is a horrible pass blocker. Joe Bitonio is a below average run blocker. So you had a below average run blocker next to Jed Wills, and Jed Wills is a average pass blocker. He's a dominant run blocker. He's an average pass blocker. I've been saying for years, bro, why don't just move Jed Wills back to the right. Him and Taylor were the dominant running side, right? Let DeJuan play the left. That's what you want him to do. Let DeJuan play left tackle. Let him get healthy, get his shape. Myles, that's somebody you should be getting in shape too. All right. Wait, hold on right quick. 1 second, y'all. So with all that said, right? Let's get into some more of the happier notes. All right. I think I got about one more segment, about one more section to do, and I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. You know what I'm saying? I know Big Homie probably got some stuff you need to do too. Let's talk a little bit of draft, right? Because that's been a whole thing in itself, right? We even talked about that. Soon as the college season over with and the NFL season over with, and they down to the playoff teams, right? Was the first thing people say. Oh, well, no. Deion did come on and say, there are certain teams that I will not allow my son to play for. He said that, right? And when he said that, most people automatically assume, oh, he was talking about the Browns. But I've been very vocal on my posts and saying, I don't think he was talking about the Browns. Especially when he sat down with old girl and was talking about it.
He definitely won this in the Browns.
He wasn't talking about
this in the Browns. And
because
listen, and Junior, listen, Junior don't he when there's certain bullshit being said, Junior let it slide. But certain shit when Junior don't let it slide. You know what I'm saying? And when that this was probably like a month
December.
ago. Bucky was on the internet. He flipped. He was on Twitter flipping. Like, man, come on, don't be putting no false shit in my father's mouth and all that. Like, man.
That was in December. That was right before Christmas.
Yeah. Bucky wasn't on it. You know what I'm saying?
No, he wasn't. You know, I'll share, you know, so it came out. Let me do the timeline. So Deion say I'm not letting my son play for certain teams. People say, oh, the Browns on that list. I've been very vocal in saying the Browns were not even nowhere a part of this rank. Okay. I said the teams he was talking about. He were talking about the Giants. I know for a fact he don't want him to go to the Giants. He's talking about the Jets. He don't want his son nowhere near the New York market. All right? Let me be very clear on that. I think the 49ers were a part of that. He don't want them over there because certain things he said, I know what's going on behind the curtain. All right? And I think about what teams were like when Deion played. Right? And what's been going on in the news. So I think Jacksonville was another team that he didn't want his son to go to. All right. I think I never thought the Raiders were part of that because the Raiders are in Las Vegas. Being a person who is still a resident of Las Vegas, I can tell you Colorado ain't fucking nothing but right next door. You go through Utah, you walk right into Colorado. All right. By him coaching there in Colorado, his son being for the Raiders is ideal because that is literally a like 90-minute flight. Maybe 2 hours.
Yep, and remember he told Coach before he got fired, like draft them Sander boys.
See what I'm saying? So I've been saying, so I'm bringing the time I live to say the Browns been going through shit all off season. And Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski ain't did nothing but they fucking job. All right? Just to go to highlight more how the local sports media and the fans blow shit out of proportion for no reason. So I like Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback. I also like Cameron Ward as a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders from Colorado, transferred from Jackson State. I like Cameron Ward. He's a JUCO guy, or I don't think it was JUCO. I think he was like D3 or something, and he just kept coming up until he got to D1, right? So I think either one of those guys fit our system. Because for one, what I like about them both is they keep their eyes downfield even when they scrambling for their life. They still throw accurate type passes or catchable passes, even though they may make some decisions you don't like all the time. But that's expected from a young quarterback, right? They're athletic enough to extend the play, and they've both learned multiple systems over multiple years in different places.
So, question. So you basically saying you grabbing one regardless. Whoever there, you grab him.
Yeah, I would absolutely, because if and let's go back to what started this. If Myles Garrett, because to me, when he's saying he don't, it's got to be about the offense. It can't be about the defense.
Right, and that's what a lot of people were saying too. Like, man, do Miles think they about to snatch up one of these rookie quarterbacks? And now, because he was saying he wanted to know the plans, and they was acting like they go tell him the plans. Like they saying, did he find out the plans and
Well,
see
in
they
all
one
fairness,
of these? Huh?
bruh, it's hard for it was hard for them to tell him what the plans was when they couldn't interact with none of the players until the East West Shrine practice. So
Mm-hmm.
you asking them what the plan was, and the season was barely over, bruh. The plan is to get better. Let's just be very clear. The plan is to get better. Asking me this last question. Oh, what quarterback you gonna get? Well, bro, do you think Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson gonna come over here? Fucking not. You think Josh Allen gonna come over here? Fucking not. So who the fuck are you asking for? I know the fuck you ain't asking for Kirk Cousins, bum ass. Who else you asking for? You're not asking for Sam Darnold. So who the fuck are you asking for, Miles? Like be fucking serious. All right? Yes, they're gonna take a rookie because Kevin Stefanski knows how to win. Regardless of what anybody wants to say, he knows how to coach a winning offense from calling the plays.
Mm-hmm.
So why not let a two-time coach of the year, who's a offensive wizard per se, why would you not give him the opportunity to pick the quarterback that he wants?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make
I'm
sense.
with you.
So
I'm
yes,
with you 100%.
one of those guys are going at 2 because you don't get a chance to draft 2 often, and you definitely shouldn't. So one of those guys are coming. I think it's Cam Ward. I think
Cam Ward is going first.
People keep saying that. I don't think Tennessee is keeping the number 1 pick.
They better keep them up. Bro, they out there. They out there on some Brown shit. They out there like, bro, if y'all trade this pick.
Listen, bro. Listen.
Listen.
What the Raiders about to offer them to get that pick, you're not turning that down.
So what the Raiders, what you think they about to give them?
They gonna offer them
Max.
They gonna no, they gonna offer them max. The Raiders can spend money. See, that's the difference. The Raiders can spend money, right? The Raiders have a number of draft picks over there already. It's not like all they draft picks didn't hit, bro. Only 2 of them caught some charges. They still got a whole plethora of motherfucking draft picks over there that's still on the team. So, in my mind, the Raiders are going to be willing to give up 3 number 1s.
Bruh. They gonna try to get Max.
You ain't gonna get Max.
Listen, bro. I ain't gonna try to
But
get
if you
mad.
give me, but if you give me 3 number ones and like a 2 and a third, even if they all in the future, that's more than enough ammunition though for me to move around the board.
What
Because
Raiders
one
working with
thing
the
certain,
what the Raiders doing this year? What
well,
I'm
if
talking
the
about no,
Raiders,
pick. I'm talking about pick wise. How many picks they got?
I don't know. Um,
I'm on my
hold on, let
what's
me pull that up right quick. Yeah, I'm about to say, let me pull that up right quick.
all right, let's see. Raiders. This damn cookie shit be getting on my goddamn nerve. Current draft order. Show. I'm trying to see what
Oh
they
my
get.
god, bro!
Yeah,
These
they just
damn phones
send
do
me
whatever they want.
man shit. The computers too. They just did some bullshit. I'm supposed to be on a Raiders site. It's showing everything but the motherfucking Raiders.
Damn, bro, you ain't gonna show me nothing, huh? Okay, they got 8 draft picks. They got 8 total picks. So I know they got the 6th pick, and which means they probably got the 39th pick, and they probably got the 73rd pick, and then they probably got the 111th pick, 109th pick. Um, they probably got two 4th rounders or something.
Mm.
So that's why I said they're gonna trade their first this year. They're gonna trade 2 more first. One from 2027 and one from 2029. And they probably gonna get them like a 2nd rounder or a 3rd rounder in like 2026, and another one from 2028.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Because they go draft Shador, number 1. And if it ain't them, the Giants go call up to trade for. And what's gonna happen is they go call up the trade
Now,
for, and and
what?
somebody gonna be like, no. But I'm gonna tell you something that could happen that ain't nobody even considering. I think Jacksonville could trade Trevor Lawrence for that pick. I think if Jacksonville called um, the Titans and said, "I'll give you Trevor Lawrence and the number 5 for the number 1," they'll take it.
Oh hell yeah!
But the
I'm getting
problem
feedback.
is, I just
You
think
hear
the
that feedback?
Giants, huh?
You hear that feedback?
Oh, that shit is probably my heater.
No, I was hearing myself.
Oh, okay. Oh, then your
Yeah.
mic was too loud.
No, I got it low.
Oh, you good now? Okay, we good
Oh
now. I
shit!
so I
Now I
so
would see him. What I was saying was I can see him doing that probably if like what you just said with the Trevor or doing the New York because New York got 3 right.
no, not in the first round. Everybody got their first round pick this year.
No, I'm talking about New York got. I'm talking about New York
Yeah, they
is
got
the
the
first
number
pick
3
right.
pick. Yeah,
Yeah, now I might can see them doing something with New York, but I do. No, I don't even see them doing the way they've been talking. No, bro, he got to get somebody with that number 1 pick.
okay, so
They
listen,
ready. They ready to catch him and whoop on him out there in Tennessee. So
Tennessee is right next door to Colorado, though. It's literally
no,
on the other side of Mississippi.
I'm talking about like that GM or whatever. Like
No, I know. He said we're not passing up on any generational talent. The problem is that people take. I feel like a lot of people didn't see the full severity of the conversation, bro. there are at least 12 to 15 generational talents in this draft.
Yeah, shit, might be more.
Okay. So as long as he don't drop out of the top 10, he's going to pick up a generational talent.
Okay.
Ashton Genty is a generational talent. I could argue Mason Graham could be a generational talent.
All right,
Both
forget them.
quarterbacks could be generational talent. Abdul
Let me
Carter,
get what you
Travis
get for
Henry.
the Browns.
You know what I'm saying? Will. So I
Pull up. Well, you probably already know all the picks we got.
yeah.
Who you get?
We got the number 2, the
If
number
available.
33, the number 64, the number 97, the number 102, and we got
Yeah.
then we got 3 picks in the 6th round and 2 more, and then we got a pick in the 5th, and we got some compensatory picks because we got 2 in the 3rd, and I think it's gonna end up being another. No, we got 2 in the 4th, and I think with the 2 compensatory picks that we get, that we might pick up another 3rd and another 3rd and another 4th.
Yeah, we might have some more if we send Miles up yonder. But just our top picks, who you get?
So with the number 2 pick, okay, in an ideal world, right? With the number 2 pick, I'm taking Shador Sanders.
I like it.
With the 33rd pick, I'm taking Quinshon Judkins or Savion Williams. And whichever one I don't take with that 33rd pick, I'm taking with the 67th pick. My ideal offense for them.
They'll be there. Oh, I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Hey
I
man,
think
it seemed like Jenkins picking up steam, like people want him.
I mean, even if Jenkins ain't there, right? If Judkins not there, I would
Mhm.
still take Caleb Johnson. I would take Omarion Hampton. I would take David Neal. I would take Travion Henderson. Like what I'm looking for is a running back that could be a future number 1 in the offense that could still play well with Jerome Ford and Nick Chubb. I'm looking for a number 1 receiver that's got the size, right? So this is where I like Savion Williams, right? TCU receiver. He wore number 5. I like his skill set. He was a former running back. He played receiver. You can move him around. Big guy, 6'5", like 220, 225. Run like a 4.4. You definitely want him. You get him and Judkins back there with Sanders. And then I also like that tight end from Penn State, Ty Warren. That's a guy I want them to be after. If they don't get Savion though, I like Luther Burton the third. I like Emeka Ibuka at receiver. I think either one of these guys could become a future number 1. Um, the running backs I name, I think those could be future number 1s. The quarterbacks, like I say, Cam and Shador. If they were not to take Cam or Shador, I would take Quinn Ewers. I heard a lot of Jalen Monroe talk, and that's cool with me. But I need somebody who could be a quarterback first, not an athlete first. You being an athlete is a plus, and that's why I like the top 2 selections because they're quarterback. They're mentally they're quarterbacks first. Um, uh, as far as defensive players, right? A defensive tackle you can find in this draft, a quality defensive tackle that could replace what you thought Siaki Ika was, or just to help light a fire under Ika. Because ultimately, you would want to have Ika turn out to be something and pair something with him. And you can have rotation of this new draft pick, Ika and Hall, in your rotation long term for after when Dalvin Tomlinson contract up. They need a middle linebacker. They need a middle linebacker. So those are the positions that I will be drafting for first. Quarterback, running back, receiver, all number 1s. I'm looking for guys who could be number 1s. Every draft pick has to have the ability to be a number one. Every draft pick, best player available at these positions: quarterback, running back, receiver, defensive tackle, middle linebacker, free safety. Those are the 6 positions that they need to fill first before they get. Oh, and kick returner. They need, and they can find one in this draft. They need a return man. They need a dynamic force for the special teams that helps light some juice and ignite some excitement into this team and into the stadium. And I need somebody that's gonna come give me that old Eric Metcalf feel, man. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody that's gonna give me that old Josh Cribbs feel. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need over here, man. This is what we looking for. So yeah, that's my take on it with the Browns though. Myles, just to summarize, if it's me, I'm not trading Myles. I don't care what you offer me. I will go to Myles, ask him what contract number going to satisfy him, and what does he want on his defense that allows him to be the best version of him, and what is his opinion on what type of offense will help him, will help the defense, right? Because he's one of the most tenured and most respected, we can do that. The offense is under rebuild. The defense is under renovation. Um, and on the next segment, we get into the coaches and the philosophy and what's going on with the promotion of Tommy Rees and how Musgrave gonna fit in. And also the conversation of, if the Browns are going to draft Shedeur Sanders with the number 2, should they be trying to get Dion over here as the defensive coordinator? And does that put them in a position to draft Shiloh as the free safety over here? It's a lot of questions, man. Dee Trynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Catch us on IG at Industry Sports or at Dee Trynt. If you missed the live streamings, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, or various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you'll see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly, Dee Trynt. IndustrySports.com. Make sure y'all go to the website. We definitely getting it up and upgrading it right now, but definitely check it out, save it in your browser so that way you get the notifications when they come up. As always, it is a pleasure rocking with y'all. Myles Garrett, man, we gonna figure it out. Cleveland, we gonna figure it out. Just stay positive, y'all. The more positivity we breathe into the situation, the more positive things we speak and we vocalize, even on these social platforms, about the positive things we want happening to the Browns, and just focus on that. Shit to turn around a lot faster, man. But y'all be safe, stay warm. Peace.